Welcome to the Big Bag. My name's Mark Machado. I'm joined by Azeem Rafiq. We've got all the reaction from the India-Pakistan game. India beat Pakistan. Azeem was in the stadium. He's currently in what I would refer to as the mobile studio, what you'll probably know as his car or a car. I don't know whose car it is. Heading back to his place. Azeem, how are you feeling after that game? Oh no, might have lost him. But I've lost Azim. Anyway, I'll take you. I'll take Azim off for the moment, um, uh, and hopefully he joins back in a minute. Just to let you know what's going on here, is we're going to be talking about the India Pakistan game. Obviously, lots to discuss from this game. If you want to join me on screen, while we wait for Azim, you're more than welcome to do that. Tell me what you think. There's lots to talk about. I mean, there's lots to talk about with the cricket. We can talk about how Pakistan went about their innings. We can talk about the fucking Samad wicket, which was just not a wicket. We can talk about how easily India seemed to kind of chase that down. I think scoring, for me, scoring somewhere between 160 and 180 or 165 and 185 maybe is a bit of a trap, because I actually don't, it feels comfortable, but I think these days it's not as comfortable as you think it is. It's actually quite easy to chase. It's basically a runner ball plus kind of three big overs. So actually there isn't much breathing room for the teams once they get that. I'm just gonna message Azim. Come and join me if you want to join. If you watch wherever you're watching, wherever you're viewing from, I'd love to know what you think. Leave us comments. This is Cricket Smash. We generally, at the moment, we run a show called Murali End, which I present, which is mainly about Sri Lankan cricket, almost always only about Sri Lankan cricket. But we thought we'd branch out a little bit, talk a little bit about the other teams in the Asia Cup. There's a lot of cricket coming up, isn't there? There's the Asia Cup this week. Women's World Cup starts next in exactly a week's time. And then there's a men's World Cup. Then there's the Ashes as well. And then there's the men's World Cup, and there's loads of cricket in between as well. I'm interested in all forms of cricket and all teams of cricket, specifically Sri Lanka. I'm very interested in this game as well, because I do agree this is the biggest rivalry in sport, Pakistan and India. I thought India went about their game today quite well. I thought Pakistan were a much more improved side to what we've seen earlier in the tournament, though, and that kind of gives me hope. If you want to join, if you want to come in and have a chat with me, you're more than welcome to. I'll put the comment in. I'll put the link to join me backstage in the comment section. So click on that and come through and have a chat. Azim seems to be having some connection problems, but we'll get him back on. I'll go through what happened as well. So Pakistan started the game quite brightly. The Fakhar Zaman got out. He got caught by Sanju Samson, but I thought the ball definitely hit the deck before it got caught. So I'm not really sure how that ended up being a wicket. Farhan, the other opener, who's had quite a lackluster tournament so far, managed to stick about for a bit and kind of anchored the innings, essentially scoring 58 of 45. Siam Ayub finally got some runs. He got 21 for 17. There was a little bit in the middle there then, where in the middle and the back end of the innings, where I thought Pakistan kind of lost their way a little bit. Fahim Ashraf came in right at the death and managed to get a couple of two sixes and a four. That got Pakistan to 171. As I said earlier, I think scores between 165 and 185 are a trap. I think you've got to go big. Teams, when they're batting, and I think these pitches actually are probably, if you want to set a good score, you're looking around 190. Obviously, this kind of changed, but between 190 and 200 is kind of what you're aiming at. I thought Pakistan were well on course to get that at one point. I think they would have been happy with 171. I don't really think that's the case, though. That turned out not to be the case. India, though, are just incredible, aren't they? Abhishek Sharma, 74 of 39. Shubman Gill, 47 of 28. You used to think that maybe you might be lucky if you got two players in your side that could do that. And then it was like maybe three players in the side. You look at this India team and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6 players in that 11 who you think could hit at two. he can have a strike rate of 200 if needed to, and that is absolutely terrifying. Sky, the captain, didn't score any runs today, which obviously was quite funny considering all the drama around this fixture. Tilak Varma, 30 of 20 off 19. Sanju Samson, 13 of 7. And Hardik had to come in just after Sanju Samson got out. And he scored 7 off 7. I thought it was quite a professional performance from India. As I said, I think Pakistan were much improved from their UAE performance as well, which there was points in that when you felt that they could lose this game. And so yeah, there's a lot. I'm still trying to get Azeem back up. The Gremlins have got an assistant. The BCCI are trying to block him from the show. Let me message him. He's it's not happening for him. I don't know what I'll tell you what I'll do. No, I won't do that. I was going to say I'll play some music, play another video, but I can't actually do that because it's not loaded. If you want to come in and have a chat with me, tell me what you thought about the game today. I would love that. So I put the link to the description. So I put the link in the comment section. So if you look at the comments, I know there is people watching. If you look at the comments, tell me what. Click on that. You can come in and have a chat. You can talk about anything. Obviously, talk about anything cricket related. Please, no bigotry. We don't want bigotry on this show. And if you do come on and say anything offensive, then we will. I'll just chuck you out because I can do that. It's I have all the power. We're trying to get Azeem back. That will be great if he came back in. I don't know where he is. I think wherever he is, he has no internet connection because I'm trying to message him and it's not working. Oh, here he comes. I think he's back. He's tried to join. I'm trying to add him. He's not there yet. Hold on. Should be coming through. I'll tell you what's next for both these sides as well. Pakistan have got Sri Lanka on Tuesday, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. That's now turned into a kind of do or die for both sides. Azeem, I think, is back. Azeem, how you doing, bro?
I'm all right, Mark. I think there's blockers around here, so it might just go in and out. I'm stuck.
That's all right, man.
Traffic.
That's fine. As I said, if anyone's backstage who wants to join us, come and do it. Help me out if Azeem's line goes down. Right, Azeem, you're outside the stadium on your way home in a car from the stadium. How are you feeling after that game?
Oh, you know what? It's actually more disappointing for as a Pakistani fan than last week because the first 10 overs is probably the best I've seen a Pakistani team for a long time. There was energy, the batting that came out playing attacking cricket. They took it to India, and you could see, there was a bit more there, with
Yeah. Of signal.
everything that's gone right. 180, 200s on here. Have you still got me?
Yeah, still got you just about.
Yeah, so I was just saying that it was clearly a very good pitch. So you knew minimum 180, try and edge towards 200, especially with India's powerful batting lineup. But then what followed after that was infuriating, actually. It was very, very disappointing. 11th to the 18th over, 38 runs. The batting lineup, the captain himself just kept going down the order. Mohammad Nawaz comes into bat. He's literally no intent. And then his, farcical run out. Shaheen Shah Afridi's been the best batsman for Pakistan in the first two games. He doesn't come out to bat. Harris doesn't bat. And then, I think from there on, it was Abhishek Sharma show, really. Him and Shubman Gill for India were outstanding. And, I'll be honest with you, they were a treat to watch. But I think from a Pakistani point of view, after the start, I think it's left with more questions than answers. I think Mike Hesson and the captain have got to answer a lot of things because that wasn't just about skill. Tactically, there was a long, long way off after that first 10 overs.
Yeah. Did you get any? Have you got any indication of how the Pakistan camp felt after they batted? So 171. I think I was saying while we lost you, I was like, for me, that's a bit of a trap score because you kind of think you might be able to defend this, you can defend this, but actually, it's basically go out and run a ball and have like 2 or 3 ballistic overs, which all good batting sides now will bat themselves to be able to do. Especially if you've got this like likes of Abhishek Sharma at the top of your innings, you're going. This is a match that we can easily control within the power play, right?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I got the sense that they must have been aware that they were 20 short.
Yeah,
And, I think, look, India chased down in the 19th over. You think that was a close game. That was never close. From the first ball, going for six, Pakistan were never in the game at all. And it was always going to be light work for India, and that's what it was. And from a Pakistan point of view, I think they'd be very disappointed. Listen, luck didn't go their way. Some shoddy decisions. I've got to say the officiating in this game was very poor.
yeah,
And it wasn't just that. I mean, we're going to go on to fuckers catch anyway, but it wasn't just that. The umpires, just the amount that they were getting involved, they didn't really let. They got to let listen. There's a lot of passion that representing the country. There's a lot of, there's a lot of tension between the countries at the minute as well. Yes, keep the lid on the thing, but also let the players, express their characters. So yeah, I think from that point of view, it was a bit disappointing. But I think Pakistan have left today, and I've got to say, I've said this consistently. Salman Ali Agha wouldn't get into any franchise team in the world.
what? Why is
How
he
he's captain
captain? I think someone Aliaga's got into our system here because the minute I asked that question,
Pakistan.
Azim's.
On,
Oh, you might have to repeat that answer, Azim.
I was
Like,
just saying,
yeah.
I've got absolutely. Hello, have you got me
Hello. Yeah,
back?
you're back. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
I
if
was
you're
saying like
watching
I've
this,
got
Azim
absolutely
Azim was
no.
outside the stadium. That's why the signal's a bit bad, but it's worth it for his insight because he was there and he knows what's going on. This man.
Yeah. So, what he's doing in this team, uh, as a bowler. What is he in the team for as captaincy? I'm just really not sure. And listen, for anyone that doesn't follow Pakistan cricket, there's a lot of politics that's gone on over the last few years. And there's been Babar's being captain, then Shaheen's being captain, then Babar's being captain, then Rizwan's being captain. It feels like everyone's being captain, and then somehow, they found this guy who's supposed steady Eddie, who's just gonna, not really gonna upset anyone, just gonna do the job, and he's a real team man, etc., etc. The lad is not good enough to get in the team.
Yeah.
He really isn't good enough to get in the team. So, and as I said, not one. I don't. I honestly don't think he would get in any franchise team in the world. He doesn't get in. He doesn't get in his own PSL team. And also, Mike. Listen, Mike Essendon's a very experienced coach, so I do find the whole thing quite bizarre, if I'm being honest, because he kept dropping himself down the order in the field with the captaincy. If that went to the last over, either himself, Saim Ayub, or Hussein Talat or Mohammad Nawaz would have had to bowl. Who Mohammad Nawaz is a bowling all-rounder who has been in form in the Tri-Series. He didn't bowl a single over tonight, while Saim Ayub had bowled 3 overs before the 10th over. It's the whole thing is just genuinely, I'm baffled, genuinely
Do you know
baffled.
what?
And as a Pakistan fan, guns.
I was just going to say it's a general trend, apart from India, from all the other teams I've seen at this tournament, all the other test sides. I think the associates have gone home. We don't need to talk about them for the moment. I see some of the tactical stuff they do on the pitch around particularly bowling and when people bowl when and how they line it up. Just so behind what the other bigger sides are doing, and you're like, that is the difference between being able to defend 170 and not being able to defend 170, right? It's like you've got to leave figure out who your best bowlers are, and where they're best to bowl in this format of the game, and also try and make sure that they've got runs to defend. Because quite often I'm seeing with other sides, I've seen this with Afghanistan the other day, saw it with Sri Lanka yesterday, I've seen it with Bangladesh earlier in the tournament as well, that they are just getting so confused when it gets to kind of over 15 onwards, and they just absolutely lose themselves about who should be bowling when. Oh, have we lost Azeem again? Hold on, he's frozen. Um, as I say, Azeem is outside. He's on his way back from the stadium. If you want to join us, you can click on the link. I'll put it in the comment. Oh, I think Azeem might be back, but I'll put the link back in. If you want to come on and join us to have your say on this game, please do. Azeem, are you back? Are you back?
It seems like I'm back, Mark. Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah, yeah.
back.
Sorry, yeah, I was talking about how tactically I feel like the other test teams are just not anywhere near where they should be. Not just compared to India, but I think compared to Australia, England, New Zealand, South Africa.
Yeah, and listen, these guys have played a lot of cricket here. The conditions they should be used to these conditions. The Champions Trophy was here. I just don't think there's any excuse. Listen, skill wise, they're a long way away from India. I don't think anyone is doubting that. But simple things like, example, on that page, every time I've seen bowler bang the length hard, it was difficult for the batsman. And every time Bumrah had for Dubai, that back of a hard length seems to be the hardest to play. So yeah, I do find I'm a bit baffled by the whole thing today. I just cannot make any sense of what Pakistan were doing. Like, were they
What I really want to know, and if you're in the comments, you can answer this because
does
we're
the
lost.
coaches relay the message and the message is not getting through?
We've lost Azeem momentarily, but he's back. Every time I say we lost you, you come back. Yeah,
I can't quite work out when I'm lost and when I'm. It's a bit like Pakistan,
yeah.
all over the
Just
shop.
keep talking. It's getting better. Whatever you're doing, I think you're also moving now, so you might be getting into
Yeah,
better
moving.
signal. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I am. I don't know if I'm even moving anywhere. It feels like we're just going around in circles.
This is the Dubai life, though, isn't it? Or is it Abu Dhabi? Isn't it? Is that where you're at? Like Dubai? Sorry.
No, it's Dubai. It's
Um,
Dubai.
yeah. Um, so the
Yeah,
question is though,
I think you know
if you're a Pakistan fan, after seeing the performances last week and then today, you kind of feel, the kind of trope with Pakistan is always with the Pakistan cricket team is anything can happen, right? And today, I kind of felt much more good than there was last week, but not quite good enough. Is that fair?
the way say it, there were moments today that were very, very positive.
Yeah.
For sure. There are moments like Saib Farhan, I thought he batted really well. Haris Rauf, I thought he bowled with a lot of heart. I thought he showed his character today. He got really stuck in. He got stuck in with the Indian fans. He he was, he was very impressive. Uh, but I think, actually, I'm more disappointed today, uh, borderline angry here, than last week. Last week, India just outplayed us. They played well, right? Actually, India had a very shoddy day today. They dropped catches. Bumrah had a poor day. They just, even with the bat, Abhishek Sharma and Shubman Gill, but apart from that, they were slack. So India actually weren't very good today, and they've still convincingly beat us. So I don't know if as a fan, I'd be happier that we have shown some parts of the game a little bit better, because I think fundamentally the mistakes that we're making are not, our same sloppy thinking, which which is what worries me. Like, before I got cut off, what I was saying is Mike Essendon's a very experienced coach. Is it that Mike Essendon is not reading the game, or is he delivering the message the players are not listening? Are the players listening and they're not able to execute? Which point of that chain is actually problematic? Because there's a lot of things that they're doing, which is very visibly you can see that it's the wrong thing that they're doing. But what's the reason for them not being able to? Because they've been here now nearly a month. They played the Tri Series before. They're the most. Them and Afghanistan have played the most cricket, and I still see instances of where they look like they're short of cricket, which can't be right. So I think there's more questions. If I'm being perfectly honest.
Where do you, like, if you were the Pakistan, if you were the coaching team, what are you telling them tomorrow morning about? They've basically got two games now. If they win them both, they're probably likely in the final because of the way this tournament works.
Yeah, my mate's just laughing listening to that that possibility. I think, look, you're mid tournament, right? And the reality is, you are right. Two good performances still means a final, possibly a final, right? So I think right now I would very much try and keep them upbeat. Make sure that that conversations are had about the mistakes, because I'm a big believer that you can't just override with positivity the mistakes that you're making. You're not going to change anything. So I think it's important to have them conversations, but in a very, very sort of mild manner. And yeah, get ready for the game on Tuesday against Sri Lanka, which is in Abu Dhabi, and that's all they can do right now. But once it's over, once the Asia Cup is over, I mean, there's been so many reboots. I don't really know what to call it now, but something's got to give with Pakistan cricket, because honestly, that stadium was not even 70% capacity today,
Yeah, I want
and
to I want to get to that. Before we get to that though, can I ask one question about the Fuckers Zaman wicket? Like, what did you see in the stadium? Like, what was going on there? Because it made no sense from what I saw.
farcical, genuinely farcical. I cannot believe it. At first replay, you could see it bounced. You could see Fakazama wasn't sure. Sanju Samson was very confident, which sometimes it's hard to really judge it when you're sort of scooping. But
Yeah,
it was a clear bounce. The umpire is the same umpire last week who kept giving decisions that had to be overturned. Obviously, naturally, you're going to get a lot of things about the control of the BCCI, etc., etc. But that was an absolute shocking decision, and it played a big impact because Fakhar Zaman actually came out firing out the blocks. And he's the best Pakistani batsman. So
yeah.
we'll never know as to where the game would have gone, but I don't think there's any making that decision. Sometimes I feel like when it goes to third umpire, now I don't know if they're on a bit of a timer or something because they want to keep the game flowing. I feel like they make a judgment call very quickly. Like you
Yeah,
could hear him on, because obviously the microphone's on about, and it's like, no, hold on a minute. It's literally bounced halfway up his gloves. It cannot. His hands could not have been under it. It was an absolute howler. From my understanding, the commentators all agreed as well, and on TV it was very clear. So, sadly, it's only going to build up the feeling that Pakistan has and Pakistan cricket has with the officials in this tournament, because it was a shocker.
I think it was a Sri Lankan umpire as well, and I feel for him a little bit because I think this is his first time in a kind of like doing international, like a bigger kind of international setting. The Asian Cup's a big deal for him, and I think he's having a bad one. Yeah, hopefully he kind of turns. I mean, we shouldn't be talking about umpires at all, but I'm here trying to pray that he starts to turn his umpiring performances around a bit, man. It's all a bit surreal. Can we talk about the stadium? You said it was only 70% full. I mean, this is India Pakistan. This is the biggest game in cricket. The UAE is full of people from that part of the world. Why was there so many empty seats?
Listen, Mark, I've been warning this for the last few years. The reality is the empty seats were because the contest is not a contest anymore. It just is not a contest anymore. You know, normally it's came to the Champions Trophy one. It's a sea of blue. It's full of Indian fans and a few scattered Pakistani fans. You had a few, very few scattered Pakistani fans, but actually, clearly the Indian fans are switching off as well because last week
Yeah.
was one-sided. And also the tickets for this tournament for some reason are a bit more expensive than the Champions Trophy, so that does play its part.
How much are the
But that,
tickets?
yeah, I think they're around 1,500 dirhams. For general, to my knowledge. But I think the main reason is because it is, the broadcasters, people like me and you, everyone will pick this game up because we talk about it, etc. It's not a contest on the field. It really isn't, and that's my thing. That's my reason for like today. I'm more disappointed today because India had a poor day, and they've convincingly won.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, so I thought 171. I I at at the innings break, I thought the result that we got was the result that we were going to get. I was like, India will probably take this deep, but they'll do it because it's a very chaseable target for them. I feel though that for the more casual fan, I think they would have thought 171 is an easy, sorry, is much more easier to defend. And also, I kind of feel that they might have thought when they look at the scorecard and the fact that India got to this in 18.5 overs, it will look a lot closer than it actually is as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think India chasing that in the 19th over, it looks like it was close. It was never close. From the first ball that Abhishek Sharma hit that
Yeah.
six, and my word, can we have a word on him? He is so
Yeah, of
good to
course.
watch. Oh my God, he is so like his sort of his bat swing. He just makes it look so easy. That he's going to be so much fun to watch. I mean, him and Shubman Gill opening the batting, that aesthetically pleasing a pair as it comes in international cricket. So, and the talent just keeps coming for them. Yeah, so he was the highlight today. Really, watching him bat every time you watch him back, you think, wow, I think it's going to be a lot of bowlers in international cricket over the next 10, 15 years that are going to face that, come up against him and his sort of his swing of his bat and the ease at which he hits it. It's pretty impressive stuff.
He's 25 as well, right? So you like look at him and you think he's nowhere near his peak, or in theory, he's peaking in about 4 or 5 years' time, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and the rest
and you're like,
now. I mean, you talk
yeah,
right now with people, obviously playing longer, peaking later, more. You think of the amount of white ball cricket he's already played, the amount of T20 cricket he's going to play. So you just imagine, put 6 years on this. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare for a lot of bowlers around the world.
Um, I'm trying to think of other players that I wanted to mention. I wanted to ask you about Varun Chakravarti because, for my money, in he's just I was going to say he's just a great turner of the ball in international T20 cricket. I think he's the best spinner in the game at the moment. But I want to get your take on it because you're an actual professional spinner.
Yeah, listen, he's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he? The way India use him is very impressive. Again, the Champions Trophy, the conditions here, it really suits him. He's got so many variations, but yeah, he's been very consistent. He comes in the power play, bowls in there. He then comes, he actually like a seam bowler. He's able to. He doesn't need to bowl his four overs like back to back. He comes in at different stages. He can bowl at the death. Very versatile, very different. It'd be interesting, couple of years in. Generally, what spinners who sort of have these sort of variations or sort of like flicks and stuff, like your Mendes, etc. Randeep Suraj, for Sri Lanka again.
Yeah.
These sort of they once they have played a little bit, they get found out a little bit because they don't have the energy on the ball. But he's actually different because I think his variations still are with energy. It's not just flick of fingers or googly that which is easily readable or once the pace dies a little bit and you get to pick it. Actually, even if you pick him, he's actually a very canny operator and difficult to face clearly. So I fully agree with you. I think he's the most versatile versatile spinner in white ball international cricket right now.
The other player I think that's worth talking about whenever he plays is Bumrah. You've seen him twice now. I mean, what's your general opinion about the way he plays cricket?
Oh, listen, I think he's one of the best players India's ever produced. Me and Matt on it's not just cricket. I've had this argument a couple of times. And listen, India have produced batters. You know, Gavaskar, Tendulkar, Kohli, Gill. You know, they've always produced batters, but they've produced a bowler here who I think is world class. And also he's turned up. You know, he's won the T20 World Cup for them. You know, outstanding in the Champions Trophy. He's winning trophies for them. Test cricket. You know, whether it be in Australia, wherever. He's just absolutely brilliant. I actually think. You know, and we had this argument because obviously he was on about Sachin. I think he's the best cricketer India's produced.
That is a great argument to have. If you're watching this and you've got any comments, leave them in the comment section. I want to come back and read it about who's India's greatest ever cricket like who's the greatest cricketer they've produced.
Yeah,
I love Bumrah. That's
if
why
not
I'll always ask
if
about him.
not already there, if not already there, he's well on his way there. Definitely. If
Yeah.
maybe a couple more years, and then people can say yeah because of the longevity. But for me, if he's not already there, he's well on his way there.
Do you know what I think the thing is as well, right? And the reason part, he didn't have a particular today wasn't a vintage Bumrah game. There isn't going to be highlights of him from this game played in 10, 15 years time, right? But I think there's sometimes there's athletes, professional athletes, where they get into their kind of peak, and it's like whenever you got an opportunity, you have to watch them, right? If you look at tennis, there's
Yeah.
like Novak or Alcaraz now, or you look at football, and someone goes, "Do you want to go watch Messi?" And you're like, "Yeah, he's about 30, 38 or 39 now, but you still go and watch him if you get the opportunity to, right?" And for me, Bumrah is right up there with one of the best athletes in the world. That's why even on a bad day, I think he's still worth watching because it's so different what he's going to do. Final question before we wrap this up, Azeem, because I think you're getting home now. You've taken a lot of your time up. How does a team try and beat? How do you beat India?
How do you beat India? I think you need pretty much a perfect day. Firstly, I think, listen, you can't be overawed by them, so you've got to take it to them. You know, and that's what Pakistan did in that first 10 overs. And then for a little period with the ball, you've got, India are used to now being the best team. They're used to just, people are just turning up and not really taking it to them. So I think you've got to do more than just a bat and ball. I think you've got to really take it to them aggressively. Um, and then yeah, hope that they make a few more mistakes and you have a perfect day out. Really, like I don't see many weaknesses in that team. I really don't. Listen, their batting is absolute powerhouse. It really is. So yeah, I think you've got to get runs on the board and then try and build pressure and a little bit of lucky will go your way. It's really difficult that they are the standout team.
Yeah, yeah. I thought maybe when Sky got out, I was like, oh, maybe there's a little bit of luck coming. Maybe that magic over. You need a magic over, I reckon. Right, Azeem, thank you for joining us today. We're good. I'm going to end this now. We'll be back on Tuesday for Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. That's like a knockout game. Whoever loses is done. In the tournament, whatever hope they have of staying on. If Sri Lanka win, they've just got the small issue of trying to beat India to get to the final. If Pakistan win, I think they'll just have to go in and beat Bangladesh. So that is the first kind of game of any meaning, really, for almost both these two sides, actually. But right, we'll be back on Tuesday. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe. Thanks a lot, Azeem. See you all soon.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye.